Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is gonna be I feel like things I should talk about, since I do talk on my channel a lot about Islam and converting and all those things. So here are the things I struggle with as a Muslim convert, because there's a lot of them. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the struggles. Let's talk about the struggle bus. As a Muslim convert, I live in the United States right now, and I converted to Islam when I was living in the United States, even though I'm originally from Ukraine. There's a lot of things that I don't understand time to time, and there's a lot of different types of Muslims I meet depending on what country they're from, depending on how long they have been in the United States, depending on how conservative or liberal, usually I meet people who are from the Middle East who were born into Muslim religion. I barely ever meet converts. So most of the time, those are people who came from the Middle East, could be India as well, Pakistan, and, all the way from, I'd say all the way from Afghanistan, Pakistan, India to Morocco, right? And there's different people have different levels of conservatism with Islam, and it makes me feel confused as heck. Because each person I meet in some way wants to educate me, which makes sense. But I had friends from Saudi. I had a female friend from Saudi who is a mom of 3 and who wears a niqab. And then I have friends from Lebanon. Lebanon, the party place. I love my Lebanese people who are so free in expressing themselves. And I don't think it makes them any less Muslim than people who are very conservative with their religion. So I'm deeply confused. I just try to follow the rules and guidelines the way I understand them. Because if you read the Quran, each person will read it differently and understand it differently. That's the thing. That's the beauty of the Quran. That's why you have to read it by yourself and give yourself plenty of time. You can listen to different scholars, you can listen to different opinions. At the end of the day, you should be the one reading it and deciding what this means for you. The thing is, Quran is a dense reading. I don't blame you. It's a dense reading and it's hard to get through it, but that's exactly why you should do it and define it for yourself. Because I get so confused looking at others and the way others practice. Your intention behind your actions is the most important thing. I imagine people disagreeing, because there's people who are stickler to the rules, and there's people who are like, here is what the underlying value of this is, so this is what I'm gonna do. There's nothing wrong with being a stickler for the rules. The only thing is, I know I would burn out if I would be such a stickler for the rules as many people are. I know I'd burn out, and I think they burn out too, they just don't talk about it. So I'd rather focus on underlying value and the most important things, whether as smaller things. I believe being a good person, being honest, and having love for other people is more important in Islam than, for example, if you're into modest fashion, how long your skirt is or something like that, because those are smaller things, right? Some people only eat halal meat, right? I'm in the United States. I do not only eat halal meat. For me, it's more of a bonus if I know there's halal meat. But other than that, I'm gonna eat regular meat that, is available here in the United States. I don't eat pork, but I know Muslims who eat pork. And at the end of the day, I don't think eating pork is as important as being a good person, not lying, not killing, not stealing, those things, right? So there's certain priority in the things you do in life, and if you can be great at small things, that's amazing. But at the end of the day, I do think that being good and not doing harm is very important. Because if you pray 5 times a day, but you're a criminal, I don't know. I don't know if like your 5 times a day prayer is gonna fix it all for you, and essentially you're better for this world. So yeah, if you steal from the poor but you pray 5 times a day, I have questions there. Of course, I really struggled with modest fashion, and this is something I have addressed in my other video. I'm gonna link it down below, please watch it. This is where I talk about my opinion on modest fashion as a whole. This was something that was a big struggle bus for me for a long time. Is it still? Not as much as it used to be, but I think, yeah, it's not the easiest thing for me. I struggle a lot with people trying to put on their culture on me, whether as religion. I struggle a lot with people who are very official, because like being that official in some ways is not the norm of the society right now that we live in. So there is a difference between being religious and being welcoming and being like to a certain like culture. Oh my gosh, I struggle with that. I don't know how to explain this. I cannot tell you how many times in the mosque somebody's mom would come up to me and try to set me up with their son or nephew or like, whoever else. I get it that you want the best, but there's just, I don't like when relationships are being forced in Islam. That's all I gotta say. It's just this official awkward thing that drives me away from it. I am absolutely not down for arranged marriage. That's one thing. I know people who have gotten into arranged marriages and it worked for them. And the thing is, okay, so let's talk about this real quickly. Arranged marriage, right? There's different definitions of the arranged marriage that exist. And first and foremost, I gotta say that if your family says like, hey, like I come to let's say I have a Muslim family, which I don't. But I come to like my dad or my mom and I'm like, hey, I think I'm ready to get married. I think I would be interested to look for a spouse. I will look on my own, or if you know of anyone that, is good for me, please let me know, right? And then I think you have to give 2 people privacy to talk about marriage, because I think it's so awkward when other people are present in the room when you meet at first, because that's going to be your person you're going to be one-on-one with for the rest of your life. Your mom and dad should not be present in the room at all times. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't get it. So I definitely think there's no shame in asking your parents for help. I think there's shame in when parents push you to marry a certain person. This is totally unacceptable. This is not okay. This is the most disgusting thing ever. Yeah, you should not be forced to marry anybody, because you will be one-on-one with that person for the rest of your life. This is your life partner. Do you really want this decision to be made by your parents? I think there is no shame if you meet your spouse with the help of your parents, but you still make a decision whether to marry them or not. But I don't think it's okay to get married to a person you don't know and you don't want to be with. Yeah, that's my take on arranged marriage. Not a fan when it comes to forcing somebody doing something, but other than that, if you look at arranged marriage as an arranged meetup of 2 people who then decide whatever the heck they want to do, that's a different story. So I do think there's a lot of misconceptions about arranged marriage as a whole, which I struggled understanding as well. I know for me, I will decide who I want to marry. Nobody else is going to decide for me, because if somebody else would have decided for me, I'd probably already be married with like a few kids, like not even kidding you. Alright guys, I hope this kind of circles it up. yeah, those are a few things that really bothered me and like still bother me and that I struggle with as a Muslim convert. You know what? I think I should make a different video on like relationships in Islam and how I view it, because it seems to be an interesting topic. It seems to be like probably one of the first questions I get asked about Islam. So yeah, I think that'd be fun. Okay, I hope this video was informational in any way, shape, or form. Remember to make your own decisions. You're your own person. You're responsible for your own life. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.